So, I really didn't want this to be my first video. I didn't want to really connect myself to the Five Nights at Freddy's brand. At this point, there's kind of a stigma.
But Chica! What about Chica?
For a very long time now. And the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is just about to come out. I don't really have a whole lot more time to waste if I want to get this out before the movie. So today I want to talk about what I want from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Not what I'm expecting or what I think is going to come out of it. I think everyone already saw that Freddy at some point is going to be turned into some sort of fucking saw trap. But I'm talking about if the movie came out and it was made specialized for me, what I would want from this franchise.
We're safe. Pack it up, guys.
I feel like this is something that a lot of people haven't put a lot of thought into, in like what they're specifically wanting from the movie. Everyone's just excited to see what crazy nuts thing they're gonna add to the lore, and Shaggy being purple guy. It's like, fair enough, makes sense, yeah. But see, I'm trying to think about, like, if everything was gonna be connected to the pre-existing lore and they weren't gonna strive away from it at all, which they probably should at some point, let's be honest. No one's expecting them to have some purple corpse man walk around and just look like they did in the actual video game. That'd be kind of silly. But like, if I had an infinite budget, how would I be making this movie? And how would I be envisioning it to end up and what? And I think this is good to do before the movie, because it's super easy to critique a movie and talk about the things that should have been in it and not been in there after you've seen it. But I'm trying to think about beforehand. That's why I wanted to get this out before there's a chance for me to watch it or have any spoilers sent to me. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting from FNAF 1, I am wondering if they're actually gonna add a phone guy, or if they're just gonna make William Afton do the phone guy part, just as like a callback to Mad Pat and all that situation. I think it would be very funny if they actually just ripped the audio and just threw that inside the movie. And from the scenes of it, Springtrap is gonna be in it. It's not gonna be like a build-up with other movies or anything. I kind of think this is just gonna be like a one-and-done type of scenario. Clearly, at some point, they're gonna have some sort of reference to Golden Freddy, which we haven't seen like in the trailers or anything. Which I'm kind of excited to see how they implement that. They haven't specifically given Golden Freddy like a way to that he would appear, or he just kind of slumps over. So they either open a door and see him, or something. They're gonna have to get creative with that for sure. See, and I really do wish that they had more animatronics, or I do kind of hope they have more animatronics that they hadn't just shown out in teasers and all that. It would be cool to see the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 animatronics, or like a reference to them at least, because I do feel like that they should be easy to implement and build, seeing that they're supposed to be plastic. They have, and I mean have to, have some sort of a scene in there where they boot the schnoo, where they have the good old honk that everyone knows from good old Freddy Fazboy. One thing I think they're gonna do, and I really don't, I hope they do have some sort of reference to at least some sort of underground base to a sister location. Not maybe not quite sister location, but some sort of underground base type reference that they might pick up on some other time. Because too much crazy shit happened at sister location to just like not address and just act like that didn't happen. If they did it, it'd make the most sense logically, because if they're just trying to make a good story in a standoff type of scenario, it makes the most sense that they don't want to have an allude to an underground bunker that this man that owns a pizzeria owns, that houses animatronic that eat and kidnap kids. Like, logically trying to put that into the movie, that doesn't sound like that'd be super easy to do. However, I think that just acting like sister location didn't happen. It was a fundamental shift inside the entire fan base and the structure of Five Nights at Freddy's. There's plenty of people who talk about that out there. I do really hope we get to see someone get spring trapped. I hope that someone gets caught up in those springs and gets a little wet in there, and they get a little spring job done. Then again, if they don't have any sort of spring lock action, it'd be the first time you've seen a spring lock suit working and the way that's intended to without killing somebody. The no pooping on floor sign. They need to add at least like a visual Easter egg. Something hidden off in the background that alludes to that, because that was original, It's hard not to have a callback to that. I know I've heard people say that they want to see the Bite of 87 happen. See, I don't think that we are gonna get anything that like is too deeply connected. We might get names and stuff that are connected to the actual video game, but other than that, I do think that they're gonna try and keep this as far away separated from the actual canon of the games, just because of how nuts it is. And when you get down to the depths of it, it would be super hard to get all the details put into one movie. Oh man, they need to have Sparky in there. Sparky was always there. See, he's an original character. See, I do 100% expect and think there's gonna be the sound illusion discs. The sound illusion discs from the books that they talked about, because that's the only logical thing that would explain away the illusions, other than it just being a haunting, and that's what they're using to explain away with. But I doubt that's what they're gonna go with. Um, no, there's illusions that happen inside the first FNAF game where you'll get illusions of the animatronics with no eyes looking back at you, and I'm sure that's what the sleeping and all that, the noise coming on and everything tripping out in the trailer is all about. I'm sure that's supposed to have something to do with the audio illusion discs. So I'm kind of expecting to see some sort of alluding to those. I do think that Matthew Lillard was a great choice for William Afton. I think that has everyone like three times more psyched for this than they would have been otherwise. I think everyone had just assumed the movie was never gonna come out. It makes sense. I thought they forgot about it myself. I mean, we didn't get updates for quite a minute there. I think that about covers it for what I'm wanting and kind of the little things I'm expecting to see from the movie. Now let's get into what I don't want to see. Some of the things I'm hoping they don't, some lines I hope they don't cross. I do not want to see any of the robot characters shoot lasers out of their eyes. I hope that's not what the red eyes are alluding to, that everyone was very upset about. Uh, I I I have a feeling that they might implement that with William Afton with his whole introduction to being a crazy scientist man. It feels like that might be right up his alley, but also that feels too out there for this. It feels like it almost fit in at this point with the video games. In the games, we're about ready to have just light laser shooting, flying, Iron Men possessed by ghosts of Little Timmy and the Ghost Witch from Paranorman. I really hope in the script they didn't have any like characters make any comments about the sexualization of the robots. I never understood that. That's always been super weird to me. It's always made me super uncomfy. Kind of made it a little bit more difficult to enjoy watching or playing the games at all when people in the back of their minds are like, ooh, look at that chicken. I'd fuck that chicken. I hope they don't make Purple Guy inside the movie as strange as he was inside the books, with him being super happy to be trapped inside Springtrap. That kind of pulled a lot of the irony inside that whole situation out. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense why they did characterize him that way. I mean, who's like, oh, I did all these terrible things. You know what I'm gonna jump in this suit for protection. Oh, I got trapped. This satisfies me. My ego is satisfied now. I'm happy. I think that it would be best if William Afton is just like a regular guy, just a regular murderer guy for this, like Ghostface or something not always returning and something that might just be human. But let's be honest, it's very possible that Scott's mind has always intended for him to be like the crazy scientist type of character and not a regular serial killer that just is a bad guy because those exist. No, no, instead he's probably gonna be Megamind 2.0, besides he always comes back. And the last thing I am really wanting to see from this movie is I want to see the general public, as in people who aren't actively in the pizzeria when they're going nuts. I want to see some sort of realism there with like how they'd react. I already seen the trailer where at some point the taxi man looks back and he's like, "Oh, I always get the crazy ones," and kid sitting with Freddy Fazbear, which is just absurd. I hope the rest of the movie isn't like that. I know they're gonna try and make it funny, and they want it to be like that kind of spoofy kind of feel, but they can really do a good job if they put their mind to it, and they can make this an actual horror movie. For instance, I am not bringing my kid to watch it at first because I want to know how much of a horror movie it is, or if it's just like the Leprechaun, but Freddy Fazbear. And I think that'll do it for today. Hopefully I make another video sometime. And if I do, you guys can leave recommendations on what you guys want to hear about or anything. I would really enjoy getting tips. I really am not sure what I'm doing with the whole YouTube thing. I don't really have like a script. I'm just kind of freehanding it right now. But hopefully I will be able to do something. Maybe one of these days I'll get my story out there about how complicated life's been for me. Until next time, have a great one, and thanks for watching.